Hey everybody, it's JJ Conway. I just finished testing some systems for my new office, and while the recording quality and the sound quality may not be the greatest, I guess I caught the spirit or something because I got to teaching and I felt like it was a valuable teaching, and I've decided to share it with you. And I won't know how it sounds. I won't know the quality of it until after I cut this recording off, but I just wanted to let you know, if you are hearing the sound of my voice, the recording was either perfectly done or it wasn't that great, but it wasn't that bad. Okay. So please give me a little bit of grace, and just know that pretty soon we will be done renovating and we will be open for business in downtown Stephenville, Texas. We'll be open for business. You can come in and get interviewed one-on-one. I actually have another interview chair, so we can have two guests at the same time, and you can come in and watch the daily broadcast. Once we get that set up, we're going to have where we open up the windows and the public can come in and watch. So I'm excited about that. Now, one thing I'm not excited about is it takes a lot of makeup to look like you're natural on camera. It takes a lot of makeup to look like you're natural on camera. Okay, my hips are not that big, y'all. That's just the riding up of the jacket. But it takes a lot of makeup. It takes a lot of makeup to look like natural. So I think I'm a little worried about, like, if I do my makeup for the podcast and then I go home, I'm not going to want to wash it all off here. But if I do my makeup for the podcast and I walk home, people are going to think that I am heavily made up. Cause like here, you can't see all the stuff on my eyes. You don't even see all the stuff on my cheeks. You just see me looking like a lady who's wearing a little bit of lipstick. That's what it looks like on the screen. But in person, it's like clown makeup. So I'm a little nervous about that, but I'm excited about the idea of the public being able to come in and watch as we record. And I think it's going to be a value add to the city of Stephenville. I think it's going to be a value add to our company. I think it's going to be a value add to everybody around, because it's going to be something that creates win-win solutions and allows people to get to know their neighbors a little better, and allows me more flexibility in being able to draw off of my guests' energy in a way that you just don't get online. So I'm so excited about it. And I'm going to go ahead and cut off this recording. And hopefully, the next thing you'll hear will be that teaching that I got all into and had so much fun with. But oh, yeah. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. And then if I'm teaching a class or something, then what I can do is, um, if I'm teaching a class or something, I can be here, I can be looking at the camera, I can be smiling and laughing. Anyway, one thing you might have noticed between the two setups is I've got my mic set up on a shock mount. I've got my mic set up on a shock mount, and I've got the guest mic set up here on a really good quality on stage stand. I like this stand. Let me see if I can show it to you. This is actually a stand made for kids to perform with. And we bought one of these originally when we had our church in Louisiana, so that my son could get exposure to singing, get practice singing and things like that. And so that's what this was originally for. That's what this is sold for, is a children's microphone stand. So it's a smaller stand. And I imagine if you search for one for podcasts as opposed to searching for one for children, it probably costs more, because this is for children, not podcasts that everybody's trying to do right now. Okay. But I did put the guest mic separately, because as cool as a shock mount is, I should try it over here. As cool as as a shock mount is, if it's what do I want to say? If you're not used to staying still, the mic stays here and you're all doing all this stuff. For some people it's easier just to hold the mic right there at their chin. They can put it right there at their chin, or they can just hold it in front. I like to hold it in front, but I have weird mic arms. See, look at that. Look at that weird mic arm. I got a weird mic arm. I don't understand why. It's one of the things that when I go for speaking critique or try to go better, I go to speaker camps or things like that and try to get better. They always gets commented on, and I always try to do like others, because they look so presidential when they do their mics. Like their arms are all straight and they're all like, and I don't know, my arms are weird. My body's weird. I've got these really long Amazon arms and really big Amazon woman hands, and In fact, and when I was in the military, my hands were bigger than most of the guys. So that's one of the things I love about my husband is, his hands are way bigger than mine, and his shoulders are broader than mine, and his arms are longer than mine. Like we both have impossibly long arms. I don't know what Cubby's gonna grow up to look like, but he's just gonna get it honest if he does look long and gangly, gorilla arms, I guess. This video is going crazy. Seriously though, um, not everybody is good with a fixed mic, and at least this way, I'm giving my guests a choice. Whether or not that works in the long run, I don't know. I had I do like the heavy weighted bass. The heavy weighted bass. One thing I discovered with one of the earlier interviews that I did in this space, we didn't have this set up yet, and we didn't have carpet, so there was a lot of echo and everything. But one of the things that I discovered is I had my normal table. Well, I had a very expressive guest, and every time he bonked the table, everything started shaking around. So I don't know how well this will go. We haven't had a guest with this setup yet. We're still getting things together, refining things and testing things. And I think I've talked enough to test this. I'm trying to think, is there anything else that I want to test? Is there anything else that I really want to test before I cut this video off? I've tested both views. I kind of don't like how high this is on me. Maybe I could do it like that. Yeah. Mine is perfect for me and it swivels so I can swivel it. And if you didn't see the video of some mistakes not to make in your home studio, one of the one of the things is when I tried to install this, because these are IKEA shelves, until I make some money, until I make enough money to go and do it all out, or until we decide for how long we're going to be here. After carrying these up and building them, my husband is like, "You are never moving these again." But we'll see. What we do, whether we keep, whether we move them elsewhere. But one of the things that we did was we elected to go with IKEA, and we elected to, these have the movable shelves. Well, if there's no books on here. Originally, I had my signs because I really like my little signs, and whenever I'm teaching, I want them handy so I can reach around and grab the sign and show it to you. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Where's my other sign? I can't reach it. So I've got two more signs coming. So I'm excited about that. But I like having my signs handy. And so I had it here in this one where I could just grab it and go. Well, as soon as I grabbed them out, this whole ledge toppled and my mic went flying. And yeah, so that was kind of crazy. That was admittedly kind of crazy. Okay, so I think I've tested everything out. We've tested the Zoom. We're using this setup with the Brio on my laptop. It's a Windows 10 laptop, which I'm worried about Windows 11 because people say you need everything online. And I live in rural Texas and I need to be able to record these things without being online. Eventually, the business will grow to the point where my 3-point setup will be I forget what they're called, but the really good Sony cameras that everybody's using for their YouTube videos. Eventually we'll get there. But right now we're where we are. And so you got to start where you are and work your way up. And one thing that I've done even in building this business is I don't like to waste money unless it needs to be spent. And I want to save the wastage for the things that are lots of fun. I don't want to waste money on things that aren't fun, that aren't enjoyable, that aren't lovely. I'll try something out, but when I'm trying something out, it's with extra money. So I tried a new event management platform. It was a fantastic sounding platform until I realized that in order to use the platform, all of my speakers had to register into that platform. Well, that's not helping me because now that company is then turning around and marketing other people's events to those speakers. I want control of that list. And it'd be different if I could pull that list of people and all their information. It'd be different if I could pull that out. And now that's my data, but it's not my data. So okay, that was money. That was money that wasn't well spent. Now, am I going to still use it to market events? Of course I am. I already paid for a lifetime membership to it. Because I already paid for the lifetime membership, so of course I'm going to still use it, but it's not but it's not going to be my primary thing. I would shudder to think what would happen if I had used money that was essential to run my business for that product. Because then what I've done is I've effectively thrown away money in my business. Oh, you got to invest in yourself. You got to take a chance. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will. Absolutely, all day long, you got to take a chance in yourself. But taking a chance on yourself is actually getting out there and doing the thing. Taking a chance in yourself is not, I'm going to waste my family's money. Not going to waste my business's money. There are people who depend on my business for their livelihood. And so, I mean, I'm not at the point of having employees yet, but I will have employees. But there are contractors who are counting on me to give them business. There are contractors who are counting on me to employ them. There are virtual assistants and production team and other people who are counting on me to make good on my promise that as I grow wealthy, they grow wealthy. And so even as I begin, and I'm starting to look for, I'm actually starting to look at hiring an employee. I'm getting to that point in my business. These are people who are depending on you to make solid financial decisions. And if we're going to make whimsical, flighty, oh, this is what feels good in the moment financial decisions, then we put ourselves, our business, and the people who are depending on us at risk. And so I'm a big fan of trying out new things. I always like to try new technologies. I like to reserve what I call opportunity money. I have opportunity money, and this is something you could really use. In fact, maybe this is a test. I am testing out the new studio. I'm not happy with the setup yet because I still have tons of books to bring in, and I'm just trying to make this, personable. And I got to get my military thing up there. So for those of you who are listening on the podcast, I'm in my new office, and we're getting things set up. We just got our certificate from the state of Texas, and we're going to be doing interviews soon. However, in this test, I think a really, really good point for you to take away with, and I think I'm going to put this on our Ladies of Wealth podcast. I'd love for you to go. I'd love for you to go onto the YouTube channel and actually see the office setup and let me know what you think. But one of the things that we should do as business owners, we should have a business savings account. That's our retained earnings, right? We should also have, honestly, we should also have an opportunity pool. What is an opportunity pool? An opportunity fund, an opportunity sinking fund, whatever you call it. It is a special savings account for you to take advantage of opportunities that come along that you've been waiting on. So I get the opportunity to go get a picture with Les Brown. Boom, pull it out of the opportunity pool. I have an opportunity to go meet Ben Carson. Well, I don't have what I need to pay for that opportunity because I spent some of that opportunity money on something else. Well, I've got to generate some more funds I got X amount of time to generate some funds to be able to go to that opportunity pool. And I pull that out of the opportunity pool. And what it does is it limits the amount of impulsive behavior that can derail my business. And maybe you're more disciplined than I am. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not that disciplined. I was that disciplined when I was $845,000 in debt. I absolutely was that disciplined. But you know what? I'm not $845,000 in debt anymore. And I'm really technically, if you want to get technical about it, I'm a kept woman now. So I really don't worry about money, you know. I mean, I always get hesitant when I say that. Mr. Man works hard for his money, but he loves what he does, and I can't wait till he retires and we can just travel around the world. But he loves what he does. So while he loves what he's doing, I'm gonna have him do it and be happy. Um, but I wish we were both retired and just running my business. If I could just speak that out there, I just would love for that to happen, and it will happen in 10 years. We're on a 10-year countdown. The oldest one is graduating. The second one graduates in 10 years, y'all. Seriously though. Um, I'm very impulsive. When I was 800 something thousand dollars in debt, I was counting every penny. Every 5 minutes, I was opening up that bank account. I was working in a secure environment back then. And back then, we weren't so worried about skimmers or people trying to take our money from us. Like they on Bluetooth. Bluetooth wasn't as big of a thing back then. You know, um, you didn't worry about going into your bank account, your bank app, and somebody stealing your information. Like that wasn't a thing back then. And so I was running out of my secure area like every 12, 15 minutes to check my balances and make sure that nothing came through that I wasn't expecting. And back then, I was super disciplined. I was so disciplined, y'all. I was the worst. I wasn't even fun to go out with because sometimes, if I was going to go out with the ladies or the singles group at church, I was counting those pennies so much that if we went to a place that was more than like, if I couldn't get an appetizer $5 and under, I was seriously going to sit there and drink some water. And so I found out years later, we had a guy in our singles group that was buying meals and appetizers for all the broke single girls, and I didn't know it. And I always thought to myself, how are these people affording to go out to all these places we're going out to eat and I can barely make it? And I made way much more than them, but yeah, it's because somebody was subsidizing the cost. And you can do anything if somebody will subsidize the cost. Now that's another life lesson. But the thing that I'm trying to communicate to you is sometimes we're really, really, really disciplined in one area, and we think we've been disciplined in that area for a long, long time. The problem is when the pressure came off, my discipline with money went away. When the pressure, y'all, I teach this stuff and I still have trouble forcing myself to put together my spend plan. Do you know why I keep facilitating Financial Peace University? It's because it forces me to do the spend plan and to make sure I'm doing the things you're supposed to do, that you're doing the things that I'm teaching so that I can be honest and accountable in the meeting. Like, and anytime I find myself slipping away from, like, oh, I know how much I have. I know how much I have month one. I know how much I have. I know how much I have month two. Oh, wait a second. Something's not right here. Anytime I find that happening, y'all, I go back and facilitate another class because my discipline is just like, it doesn't matter anymore because my kids got plenty of clothes and we all got plenty of food. So So, for me, having an opportunity fund, it really helps limit that impulsive nature because every conference you go to, every well done YouTube webinar or business webinar or self-motivational every well-crafted thing like that you go to is gonna pull at you to get that card out and spend, or pull at you to open up that wallet and pull out your cash. Okay. And so for me, I just take all of that out of the equation. I have what's called the crazy spend plan for my planning, irregular income. So, like for example, I have a running list of things I want to buy for my business, and as the opportunity fund gets filled, we run down the list and buy those things. And then if I don't really need those things, they stay on the list. And then I might go to a conference and I'll have reserved, $3,000, $5,000 for whatever opportunity comes along. Well, if the opportunity is 20,000 and I've only got 5,000, well, it's not for me. What do you mean? Don't you believe in yourself? Of course I believe in myself. But you know who else I believe in? I believe in the Lord God Almighty. And one thing I have found out is when there's an opportunity I have wanted, but the money wasn't in the bank or the space wasn't there. And I'm not talking about I've got invoices out. See, you can have invoices out, y'all. This is just a test. This is just a test. But I think somebody in the public's going to see this test because this is a word right here. Sometimes you banking on all those invoices you got out, but that's not money in the bank. It's value. If you were to sell the business and you've got all the invoices out, all those invoices out that does count towards the value of your business, but it's not tangible value. It's not tangible value. So you can't do anything with that. It's intangible value. It's like imaginary numbers. You can't do anything in real life with imaginary numbers, but you better have some imaginary numbers when you're trying to calculate the impedance of your electrical wires or all those kinds of things. If you don't have the concept of imaginary numbers, your electronics, your technology, none of that stuff works without imaginary numbers. But you and we can't do anything, with okay? So so there's just some things in life that it's good to have. It's good to have invoices out. But I feel so bad when my clients come to me and they're like, well, I was pursuing this and I had all these invoices out and I just knew they were going to come through. And what I'm encouraging you to do is something different from what everybody else is teaching out there. And I know it results in less overall profit or less immediate profit. Let me say it the right way. I know it results in less immediate profit in my business, but it results in greater long-term profit because when you do things my way, you are not just successful today, you are also successful tomorrow. Let me say that again. So I know that the way that I teach things, when I teach people to invest with money they only have, not money that's coming to them, not money that they're counting on, not money that should be here any day now. When you do it my way and when I teach it my way, that results in less immediate money for me. Right now in this moment, if I go to the conference and I'm asking you to buy stuff and I'm not pushing you to go past what you can afford, I'm going to walk away with less money because that's why people push you to buy things you can't afford so they can get more money. And they know that what they have is going to help you. And I'm not saying that what they have isn't going to help you. Okay. It absolutely will help you. But when I was $845,000 in debt, it didn't matter how much your stuff helped me. I didn't need to spend $2,000-$3,000 on it. If I couldn't find the information for free, I didn't need it right then. If you weren't going to gift it to me, I didn't need it right then. If you weren't going to open up an affiliate path or open up a volunteer path so that I could get that access without having to pay $2,000 or $3,000, then it was not the opportunity for me, no matter how good it is. And I think many of us today need to get to a point in our businesses where we understand that that is a very real problem facing most entrepreneurs. Y'all remember when Kmart, not Kmart, y'all remember, yeah, Kmart too. Y'all remember when Toys R Us went out of business? They were $480 million of debt service every year. Okay, so that's not $480 million of debt. That is $480 million of debt service. That's how much money they were paying to their creditors. And I forget what number the United States government's at right now, but I heard it the other day and I was appalled because back in my first election, who the guy we elected, whether you like him or not, now, I mean, I'm older now, so I have different opinions now, but the guy that we elected back then balanced the budget. I had no idea it had gone so far. I'll have to find the number and flash it at the bottom of the screen as with this replay. I had no idea that we had gone that far into debt. Well, the people at Toys R Us are like, well, we can't compete with Amazon. We can't compete with this. We can't compete with Walmart. We can't compete with blah, 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 blah. Fill in the blank. And it's really sad because they were feeling like technology was passing them by. But if they had 480 million extra dollars every month, every year to put into technology, don't you think they could have beat Amazon? I know they could have beat Amazon. You know why I know they could have beat Amazon? Because as an auntie with lots of nieces and nephews, I don't like buying toys for them on Amazon because you think it's this. You think it's this big, beautiful doll, and they get it and it's this. And that happens in my business all the time. I'm steady returning stuff back to Amazon, y'all. I steady return stuff, but I am one of their bigger customers, so I guess they don't mind. But I mean, seriously though, I I hated to pay those prices, but I always preferred to buy stuff for my nieces and nephews in person, even though it meant not only buying it in person, but then I had to pay the crazy US Postal Service rates to get it to them. I mean, one year I think I paid $70 in shipping, and that's when I switched over to Amazon, and that's when I discovered, oh, it saved me money. But when I thought they were getting this big old set, they got this little teeny tiny thing. So now they're all older, except for the baby girl. They're all older. And so it's like, hey, send me your Amazon email. I'll send you a gift card, or something like that. But seriously though, they could have competed. Toys R Us didn't have to go out of business. They could have competed favorably despite Amazon, despite anything else. If that $480 million a year didn't go towards debt service, but actually went towards innovation. And that's the same for us. A lot of us as entrepreneurs, we are hamstrung. We're hamstrung in our businesses because we're paying on this, we're paying on that, we're paying on that, and we're paying on that. And we made this payment plan and we're making that payment plan. And I love a good payment plan. I do love a good payment plan. I offer payment plans, but I don't want anybody taking a payment plan that is then counting on somebody else sending in money that you may or may not get to execute the payment plan. There's a difference between saying I get a government retirement check of $3,000 every month. So $3,000 every month I'm going to spend on innovation for my business because I know that money's coming. I can pay those debts off. That's different from saying, you know what? I don't know how it's going to happen. I only made $10 last year, but this $20,000 opportunity, this is the thing that's going to push me forward. And now I'm going to be able to make millions if I just get this one thing. And yeah, I don't know where the money's going to come from, but I'm going to sign on the dotted line. Yeah, they're going to, there's a risk they're going to repo my car or they're going to foreclose on my house to try and satisfy my debts, but I'm willing to do it because after all, if I don't bet on myself, nobody else will. How's that working for you? How's that working for you? And I'd like you to come to me as a client before it gets to the point where things aren't working and things are being repoed and things are being recalled and things are being foreclosed on, so we can help you avoid that. But I'd even rather more have is you execute your finances in a smart strategy that is a blessing and not a cursing. All right, I think I have tested the test out of this test. That's all I have for you today. Thank you for being part of our little test. I hope you enjoyed that teaching. Take care.